This is you, and the only girl who loves you is your mom. You are lonely, so of course you download Tinder, you know, to find bitches and shit. But it seems like no girl wants you.
Hello.
Until one day, a beautiful Asian lady by the name of Burong Sakapapi messages you. Hello. Hello, sexy. I never get matches. Hi.
Haha, yes, I'm Burong from Thailand. You?
I am the owner of a big sausage.
I love sausages. Makes my insides tingle. Let's meet up.
Of course, then your stupid ass takes 5 packages of condoms, goes to meet her, and she kills you with her inside organs. Funny and crazy, but that's the summary of the new Dead by Daylight's killer, the Krasue or the Krasue. Honestly, I don't know how to even pronounce this name, but I tortured myself and played this killer quite a bit during this stupid anti-tunneling shitty update.
I think we did a pretty good job so far.
And in this video I will give you 5 tips on how to play this killer better, at least on the release day, you know what I mean? Anyway, every time there's a new killer in this game I make a video like this. You can find a playlist on this channel with many tips for different killers, so if you're interested in content like this, make sure to subscribe. Thank you. These tips are not in any particular order, meaning that tip number 1 is not more important than the tip number 5, so let's start with the first tip. Stop touching your balls. Just kidding, touch your balls all you want, but the first tip is select your playstyle based on the map. And this is super important because the beginning of the match is arguably the most important factor which decides your fate by the end of the match. And if not for this killer's power to infect people, this killer would be yet another M1 killer. She would be a very weak killer, and yes, you might say that she has a head form to chase survivors pretty fast, but she can't break pallets and breakable walls while in the head form. She can't even injure survivors while in the head form, except if they are already infected, and also it takes 365 days, which by the way is a terrible movie, don't watch it, to switch back into the body form. It's just super slow. So in my ideal scenario, most of the time it's not really worth to start the game while being in the head form. Some of you might find it useful to start a match in a head form if the map is very open, like Coldwind Farm and Autohaven Wreckage. You can very easily just avoid dropped pallets, infect people while using your head form, and move from one person to another person, fill up their infection meters, and you know, start a game very well. But most of the maps that are pretty closed, I'm talking about shitty maps like RPD.
RPD.
P. Diddy?
No, RPD. What is PDD?
P. Diddy is a good man. He is
Oh,
actually...
really?
Yes. He gives a lot of money to children
Whoa,
In
very good man.
in exchange for blood.
What?
Gideon Meat Plant, Larry's Underground Complex, etc, etc. These maps,
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
basically what I'm saying is that select your playstyle based on the map. This killer is very unique. Everybody will start the matches with this killer differently, but from my findings on most of the maps that have a lot of pallets, it's best to start in a body form and try to infect as many survivors as possible without switching into the head mode, at least in the beginning of the match. The second tip is later in the game, when all survivors are infected, go into a head form. There is no reason for you not to do this, except maybe if there's a bunch of dropped pallets or unutilized pallets, you know, but you shouldn't be avoiding breaking pallets in the first place. In the beginning of the match, try to break as many pallets as you possibly can while playing in a body form, and then a little bit later in the game, when there's less pallets on the map and you see that there's 3 or 4 survivors that are already infected, don't even hesitate, switch into your head form and play in this form for like until you catch somebody, because you will be traveling the map so much faster than you would in a regular body form, and not to mention that you will be getting hits left and right, and you know, when a survivor is already infected and you hit a survivor even with your head form, that will be an injure, and in this game every single injure matters, every single injure can result in a kill. Now another tip is take Bamboozle with you. Now of course you can customize your build as much as you want, I don't give a fuck, but if you don't take this perk into your build when you play this killer, you are homosexual, which is okay. I mean, I got fucked. But jokes aside, I told you before that this killer is pretty slow, especially when it comes to switching back into the body form from the head form, and especially during chases, it's just not worth switching between these forms. And of course, survivors will always run towards pallets. If there are no pallets around, they will run towards windows, and windows of opportunity is one of the most popular survivor perks at the moment, so they will definitely find some windows to loop you around. And what can I say, not that this killer is bad, but her animations feel very slow even when it comes to vaulting windows, you know what I mean, even when you're in the head form. And you know, I watched a couple YouTube videos, like popular Dead by Daylight YouTubers. All they did was add Bamboozle into their build, and it actually guaranteed more wins for them. I don't know how it worked, but I love Bamboozle. Punish survivors mid-heal, so keep in mind that survivors can always cleanse their infection, and you want to prevent that from happening. They can find those fucking mushrooms or whatever the fuck they're called, doesn't make any sense, on the map, and they collect those, and then they are locked into animation when they are cleansing the infection, so you can catch them halfway through. It wastes their time and progress, and they will have to start all over again if they get caught while doing it. So if you are chasing a healthy survivor, you know, in your body form or whatever, and then you see that another survivor next to you is trying to cleanse their infection, stop chasing that healthy survivor, you're wasting your time. Immediately stop the survivor from cleansing their infection. It will actually reset their entire progress, and you know, it's a win situation for you. I have no idea who the hell decided that Regurgitate would be a great name for one of the abilities of this killer. I'm sorry, but it sucks. Anyway, aim Regurgitate short, you know, at their feet or the vault exit, not behind them. Basically, you have to predict where the survivors will stop and not where they run from, if it makes any sense. You know, this ranged kind of attack is not like a grenade. It will not really work like the Unknown's one, so you will definitely need to put some time into mastering this killer. Overall, this killer is pretty great, pretty unique, not my cup of tea, but I'm not gonna complain. I always complain about killers, I always find reasons to hate every single killer in the game, you know, for views or whatever. This killer is alright, she's pretty strong, she's not weak, but she is very difficult to play, and I don't like how sluggish she feels. I hope this video gave you some useful tips. Comment down below what do you think, and I'm gonna go do some gooning. See you later, guys.